You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking to my ball. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Dolphins fans. We are back and better than ever. This is DolphinsTalk.com Dolphins matchup. We've missed you so dearly over the last week, especially because we come bringing tidings of joy after last week's matchup. You know, we were here. We were talking about how the only time the Dolphins have ever won a game this season, they've all been blowouts. They don't really win the grinders. It's either they lose or the other team just is completely unprepared to deal with what they're doing. Well, that all changed in the last game because they came out, won a close, tight battle. Both teams, quite frankly, appeared to be teams that were on vacation in Madrid, Spain, and played a football game off to the side of it. But, hey, I'll take it. There were still some positives, some good things to take from the game. Devon Achane, once again, just a burgeoning star in this league. The run game of the Dolphins getting on track more and more. And, hey, defense showed up pretty darn good for the Dolphins as well. The defense is continuing to gel and grow by the week. I guess we'll see if it continues. I sent Robert this graphic this past weekend, something that CBS threw up there, and I said, "Oh, it's over for us. I want to try and avoid it for one more week. If we win one more game, we're gonna have to talk about it.
You can't avoid it.
No choice.
Can't avoid. I've seen it everywhere now. You can't avoid it. The Miami Dolphins are officially in the hunt.
Oh.
I think there's got to be a limit of teams. They're like, look, we got to put someone in there, right? Who can we put in there?
Pain that will go through our listener base thinking about that. One place and team that does not have to grind out a close contest is Caneswear.com. They are 100% unbiasedly in a blowout, not even close, undisputed kings of Miami Dolphins merch, of South Florida team merch, Florida International, Miami Heat, anything that you could want and need. If you need to go out there in your protest parades about these college CFP rankings about how Miami's getting jobbed out, you can get your Miami Hurricanes gear there too. Caneswear.com. I come to you live from the Caneswear.com command center, the #1 spot for South Florida Miami Dolphins gear. If you are so very blessed, as I will be soon, to be in sunny South Florida, check out their brick and mortar right after you check in with my co-host, the Baron of South Florida, Robert Burns. It is at 2655 South University Drive, Davie, Florida. Caneswear.com. Put it on your back. Put it in your browser. Put it on your back. Caneswear.com. Robert, tell me your feelings about the mania in Madrid.
Oh, well, at least we've had a little time to digest it, right? And I almost forgot about it watching all this extra football and watching the Bills lose over the past week as well. And, I mean, I felt like they were going to blow it in talking about the Dolphins. Felt like everything was leading up to them figuring out a way to blow it. And I had a tweet ready to go saying that Tua was the worst Hawaiian quarterback in the National Football League.
Oh, boy.
Since he would have lost to Dylan Gabriel and Marcus Mariota in the same season.
That's how it works.
And I had to delete the draft because they came through and they figured out a way to win. It only took Jack Jones, I think, one play to get things turned around for the Dolphins on defense. And then they were already in field goal position. So it was good for them to get a win. It was good for me to not have to worry about draft position and that bet anymore.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over, man. I think you're good. I think you're in the clear.
I even messaged Mike, and he's like, "I don't remember that bet. I don't remember anything about it. No,
man,
it never happened."
Wow.
And so I think what we expected earlier in the season, at least what I expected, were the Dolphins to meddle around and have the 11th to 13th to 15th pick in the draft. Still probably going to happen, and they're going to win a few games because they're good enough to win a few games. And that was one of the games that they would have won regardless if Jaden Daniels were playing, if Terry McLaurin were playing, but they weren't. So it was set up well enough for the Dolphins to win. And it's funny. I think the week before it was the Colts game. It was overseas. And I did all this research, and I said, always pick the unders in these overseas games.
Yeah.
And I got my butt handed to me that week. So I did not bet the under in this game.
Oh man.
Felt like I should have. But
That's what hurts the worst. Whenever I do sports betting, I always do in places where you can use promo codes like Dolphins. I hear there's places out there. Whenever I do sports betting, I always pick whichever thing I'm going to feel the least stupid about if it goes wrong. Mm-hmm. So I always listen to my instincts. And so there you go. That's a good example of not listening to your instincts. We're going to listen to our instincts in this matchup coming up this week. It's going to help your bet because the Dolphins could win this and beat one of the teams that will be in the top 3. Hey, you're sailing for the clear after that.
So I think the Saints are maybe 2, 3, like they're pretty bad, and they're trying.
They're trying to be bad too. Yeah.
Yeah. All these teams are going for it. So this is a game where I think, Eric, you and I can probably preface, we expect the Dolphins to win. The Dolphins are favored in this game. Ooh. And I think we both kind of expect them that this is one of those again that they should pull out.
Going quarterbacks, I will say, all of you out there listening, I would not take this quarterback situation lightly. Tyler Shuck has actually been graded 70 or better in 3 of the 4 games that he's played major snaps in. He had a really rough game last week, but 3 out of the 4 games he's looked very, very good. So I'm not even going to push. I'm not going to pick a rookie who's played 4 games over Tua because there's times in this season I might have thought about it, but right now, not going to do it. Tyler Shuck has shown some flashes, and I would not take it lightly, but I'm going to go Tua in this matchup.
Okay, I agree with that, but let me ask you this. I'm going to throw a bold or bull right in the beginning of the show. Bold or bull, Tua throws for less yards than Tyler Shuck.
Bold. Yeah,
I'll give you his numbers.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Last week against Atlanta, 243. This is Shuck. Is it Shuck?
Shuck. It's Shuck. Like shucking corn.
Okay.
It's Shuck. It doesn't look like it, but that's what it is.
Anyway, 243. Week before that against Carolina, 282. Week before that, 176. And then the week before that didn't have a lot of 30 attempts, 128 yards. So 243, 282, 176. Are those numbers better than what Tua is potentially going to put up this week?
Oh, for sure.
Tua, last couple of weeks, 171, 173, 261, and then 205 against Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Dolphins are going to get up, and Kamara, as we're going to discuss here in a minute, is
may or may not play.
He is a dish in a fine dining restaurant, washed. So it's. I think the Dolphins are going to get up, and I think Shuck's going to have to throw, and he's done pretty damn good. And he's developing chemistry with their big time receiver, of course, Olave. So, I'm definitely going to go Shuck's going to go more passing yardage.
So we both agree.
The real Boulder Bowl. The real
quarterback is Tua. The better day may end up to the other guy.
The real Boulder Bowl is Boulder Bowl. Tua's going to throw more interceptions than Shuck.
Push.
There we go. Two each. Yeah. We're going 2 each, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's probably accurate, right?
Yeah. Running backs, you said Kamara might not even play. Even if he did, to me, this is not even close. Kamara has been under 3.5 yards a carry for most of the season. Has had a lot of games where he hasn't even carried the ball 12 times because the Saints have been bad and because he's been ineffective and the running game's been ineffective. So this one's easy for me. I agree. Devon Achane, Ollie Mania running wild. Ollie Gordon had some nice plays in that game as well last week. I like the Dolphins running backs much better.
Yeah, the only game that Alvin Kamara played mildly decent was the Carolina game where he had 83 yards rushing, and so added 32 more receiving. But that was, a game where you're playing Carolina on an off week and you have a chance to win. Your offense needs to do some stuff. Devon Achane's been performing well every week, so you got to go with the guy who's leading the league. Is he? What is he in the league in rushing right now? Did I see he's near the top?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's either leading or number 2 at most.
Yeah. Let me pull this up here. Statistics as we look up rushing. He is 4th in the league in rushing behind Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, and then, of course, Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL.
But all those guys played this week.
Although, well, now they're even. Right?
Okay, so there you go.
And so he's 200 yards back of Taylor. I don't know if Indy has a bye week coming up. I have to pull up their schedule.
Much better than
It'd be playing too many things that we don't need to really factor in. One of the top 5 running backs in the NFL is Devon Achane.
Speaking of things that we may or may not need to factor in, I know we don't usually go in this order, but since we're talking about things that might need to be factored in, if we haven't heard anything as of press time, as of recording, if our man Austin Jackson is back for this game, does that sway your pick of this line over the Saints line?
I was going to pick the Dolphins offensive line anyway over the Saints line.
Oh, okay.
Look, when you're able to run the ball, right, and you've been able to establish them, and they actually do it, when you're able to do that, you get Austin Jackson back, that's a plus. I think the point that you were trying to get, that you should have gotten to, and I doubt it will happen this week, is if Darren Waller is able to come back with his practice window now opening.
Oh, I'm past that. It's Greg Dulcich. It's Greg Dulcich's world now, baby. Let's go.
Because of the hair, right? Because you and the hair go together.
I knew it. I always knew, man. He just needed to get into this system, and it was on. And here he is. I'll go. So without Austin Jackson, you make a good argument because, I'm looking. The Saints, Calvin Banks is having a really good season as a rookie at left tackle. Great pick by them. Luke Fortner is a very highly ranked center in the middle. The rest of the line is middling, but it's not terrible. But the Dolphins had the running production.
You can't open in lanes, right?
Yeah, the Dolphins had the running production, and so it's hard to argue against, even if some of their grades are a lot lower than the average grades of the Saints. So, yeah, I'll go the Dolphins line too, especially if they have Austin Jackson back in the lineup. I love it. Skill weapons, a little bit of a tip of our hand because I'm already praising Greg Dulcich. They have a very similar situation to us. The receivers Tipton and Vele are okay, but not setting the world on fire. Chris Olave, the number 1, is very, very good. Same thing on our side. Our number 1, Jalen Waddle, has been excellent. And Greg Dulcich has been a revelation. Loving it. I wonder if Darren Waller does come back, if we're going to be looking at some 2 tight sets a lot more often, because we've talked about, okay, can McDaniel, can he, kind of edit this offense as it goes along? And now you've identified that you have 2 guys who give you an advantage in the intermediate passing area, which is also where Tua is good. So do you get them both on the field going forward when Westbrook-Akine and our other guys have not been especially lighting the world on fire outside of Jalen Waddle? Now that you have that matchup, do you go out of your way to get Waller and Dulcich on the field as much as you can? What are your thoughts about the skill matchup?
I think that if Waller is an option, and again, week 1 of his return window is now into play here, so may or may not even see a limited number of snaps with a guy who's been injury prone this year, right? Yeah. So you might lean more towards Dulcich in that fact. Now, you got to remember, though, the Saints also have a guy at a tight end, Juwan Johnson, not a slouch. Not at all. Hasn't had a Pro Bowl quarterback or anyone of the semblance and has been able to put up nearly 100 yards every week, or at least 80 yards, I believe, for the past 5 weeks or so. And that's really what I look at. How you've been playing the past month and a half. So when you got a guy like Juwan Johnson out there, there's also an X factor that the Saints believe that they have, and they believe that they had it to the point where they paid him a lot of money to either play quarterback or running back or wide receiver, and a guy named Taysom Hill. One of the few that could give Miami trouble without Alvin Kamara out there. I think you're right. Olave probably cancels out Jalen Waddle, right? If you're looking at talent for talent. Yep. So you're looking at who else is doing anything for the rest of the group. And you're right. The Dolphins haven't had a lot. Malik Washington, even what's his face? He used to play for the Dolphins a year or 2 ago, then came back. Cedric Wilson. Not lighting the world on fire. D. Eskridge, more of a returning kind of guy. Nick Westbrook-Akine, Taj Washington, again, not lighting the world on fire. So this is probably closer than you'd expect. And I think that if we're just looking at the special players and wide receiver and tight end who can do a little bit of both, I kind of lean a little towards the Saints.
So what I was
If
going to
Olave cancels out Waddle, right?
Mhm.
Who do you got that's better than a producing tight end, which Dulcich has been fine, but he's not putting up 80 yards a game.
Fine.
Right.
So
I know you're thinking blasphemy.
No, my caveat with this, which agrees with what you were going to say, because I thought you were going to go Dolphins, and I was going to say, well, let's all just not. But then you went Saints. When you talk about the lack of production with the other receivers, with Vele, with Tipton, with Johnson, just remember this quarterback situation with this team has been a mess.
Mm-hmm.
The running game has been a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they've gotten who they think might be their quarterback in, the production for the passing game has gone up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is you haven't heard of these guys. Their grades aren't particularly good, but you got to take the context of the situation into consideration going into this game. Do not take this group lightly, especially against a susceptible Dolphins defense. I don't think that just because it's a rookie quarterback and a bunch of guys who haven't been putting up a lot of numbers, I don't think that this is going to be – I think they're going to put up points, and I think they're going to move the ball. And
this isn't necessarily a show of totality, right? We're not talking about who has the better offense. We're specifically talking about who has the better skill group, right?
Yep.
And I don't think it's as easy pick as Dolphins fans would think.
No, personally, I'm still going Dolphins because I'm loving what I'm seeing with Dulcich finally in there. I love Waddle. But it is close. It is close to a push, and I don't disagree with you taking them. And I'm telling everybody right now, don't take it lightly when the situation comes. You're going to see this team moving the ball. So remember that you heard it here first. They are going to move the ball against the Dolphins.
You wouldn't be surprised if Taysom Hill ends up with somehow 2 touchdowns, right? Wouldn't surprise you.
That too. Defensive lines. They have one player having a really good season. We have 0 players having a really good season. So going the Saints defensive line. Chase Young, a blast from the past there. Quietly has had an excellent season so far this year. Nobody other than being a blocking sled, other than being a projectile for an offensive lineman to throw into another defensive player on the Dolphins, no one has been anything close to excellent. He was excellent used for that. But otherwise, nobody has been doing anything excellent. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Got to get you in some trouble making those accusations. Just it seemed like sometimes some of the things that Dolphins defensive linemen do, maybe on special teams, possibly borders on wanting to affect the final score. That's how stupid it is sometimes. So that's just use your imagination.
He's leaning towards an NBA investigation in the NFL.
Yeah. So I'm going Saints. What do you think on the defensive lines?
I'll probably agree with you. I mean, you got Cam Jordan, who every year is a good year for Cam Jordan.
Yes,
they got a guy, Devon Gottschall, who's familiar with the Miami Dolphins, and Chase Young having a good year, and a guy that I don't know why Washington let him go maybe a little earlier and tried to be cheap on it, but a guy like Chase Young who's found a home in the Saints. So I agree. I agree with you on the front 7 in that particular case. In the secondary, for the Saints, I just like the guy's name, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Just love Kool-Aid. The fact that he kept it and never changed his name, and his name is actually Kool-Aid, that's probably my favorite part about the Saints secondary.
Well, he is just as good when he's getting burnt as Kool-Aid is not good. He's the grades on the grades.
That's a horrible one. Come on, you got to better. He's his feet are as sticky as sugary Kool-Aid. No, that's not good.
The secondary, he's just as good toasted. He's just as good hot as Kool-Aid is. Not good at all.
That's better.
The Saints secondary, there's nothing to write home about. Actually, the Dolphins secondary has a much better grading across the board.
Won the game for the Dolphins
by a wide margin.
Game where they just won it.
I know. Jack Jones is just the laugh now, cry later. That's more of a West Coast thing. I grew up on the West Coast. The masks, the laugh now, cry later thing, the tattoo that everybody gets out there. He is the laugh now and cry later player for us, Jack Jones. But hey, he made a hell of a play last week. Even called it before. He said, "Hey, if you guys do it, he's going to throw it right to me," and that's exactly what happened. And another thing that's been good to see with Jack Jones the last couple of weeks is his grades have been going up too. So he's been doing better in coverage as well. The tape shows it, and then he's making these plays to help us out as well. I know he is good for a very inopportune penalty at times, but has been really improving his game as the season goes along. In addition to that, secondary for secondary, what are we thinking? The linebackers are pretty similar. They got one really bad one and one really good one. The Dolphins got one really bad one and one really good one. So I'd say push on the linebackers. Demario Davis, a stud, a stalwart every year in and year out. Love the guy, love his game. Having another excellent season. Of course, on our side, we got the destroyer of worlds, the hunter, Jordan Brooks doing his thing. Secondaries is where we might have a little bit of difference. What's your thoughts on secondaries and linebackers?
I mean, I think it depends on how healthy Rasul Douglas can be going into this game. I mean, if he's nursing, if he's out, if he's coming in and out of the lineup, that does not benefit Miami team that has to try and stop some of those weapons, mainly Chris Olave, who can burn you. He can burn you just as bad as Kool-Aid gets burnt. And so I think that it depends on the health of Rasul Douglas. I think Jack Jones is riding some momentum for Miami, which is really good to see for a guy who was looking for a home and might, if he keeps that momentum going, might find one. So I push based on the health, because when you're talking one good one, one bad one, I don't know how good our good one's going to be.
Coaches, I'm hearing from my Saints sources. I know I'm pretty good buddies with some people who actually cover the Saints. Kellen Moore's looking a little overwhelmed is what I'm hearing. And Mike
Which is weird to me, because wasn't he being groomed for a head coach job for like 12 years?
For the longest.
Finally gets the head coach job and blows it.
Okay, the roster is like really bad though. So
yeah, you got to give the guy a little bit of time.
Were you as ready to wring Mike McDaniel's neck over some decisions in that game last week?
They lost that game last week, but I think I actually tweeted that Mike McDaniel needed to get fired before they got in the bus for making that goal line call and not taking the 3. Turned out that it worked out for him, and he got lucky that a field goal goes wide at the end of the game for Washington. And so if that series of events didn't happen, I would have thought leave him in Spain.
So all I'm gonna say, because I don't need the big boss man Michael Levy busting in a cameo in here and putting belt to ass. All I'm gonna say is if you go for the field goal, you have to stop them from getting a field goal. If you go for it and you don't make it, you have to stop them from getting a field goal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Problem is they almost didn't stop them from getting a field goal.
They damn sure tried not to. I tell you what,
really lucky. They gave them plays every chance to make that field goal.
They had a long third down. It was just that they could have stopped and got the ball back, and it was just inexcusable how open this dude was. And that almost lost. It should have lost them the game. Like I just knew the game was over when that got completed, and then I almost called them the bad word. The Commanders, excuse me, played their way right out of it. So hey,
but hey, the swings different ways, right? One chain.
It certainly swung the wrong way for the Dolphins plenty of times this year. All right, so who you going coaching matchup? I think we got to go, even though we know we're hard on Mike every week. I think I got to go Mike McDaniel here.
Yeah, he's impressed in the wins that they've had, right? He's impressed in the wins and some of the calls, and I also think that while I didn't agree with the goal line call, it's a ballsy call, right? It's ballsy. It's something different. And so the more, now that it's a week later, like if we did this show 3 days afterwards, I would have probably had a different thought process. But now that I think that, the cojones to say, screw it, let's go for the win here. When you only got 3 wins anyway, like, what do you care at that point? Playing with house money, you go for it. So the longer I've had to think about it, the more I'm okay with it. But you're right. They should have lost that game. Regardless, I think that he's in the wins that they've had, he's had some good game plans.
It's 1 yard. The players get played. As a lineman, I'm sitting here thinking, go gain a fucking yard. Like, don't put it on the coach. Mike said we get to have one per episode.
I'm waiting for you to bleep it out, but hey, why not? Let it run.
But that was literally my reaction to when I was seeing the reactions. And as a former lineman, that's what I want. I'm looking to my left and to my right, and let's go gain a yard.
Yeah.
A yard. Like,
problem is they still can't.
Yeah. Thank you, Cole Strange. That was really, you were really letting it shine on last Sunday morning. Here I am up in the break of dawn watching Cole Strange be a turnstile in the New York subway. My goodness gracious. You Florida people don't have subways. They're looking like a turnstile at Disney.
We get
when you ring in your little key thing.
It's called a magic band.
The Magic Man, yes, sir. That's absolutely what it's called.
These things right here.
Oh, you got them right there. I have some around. Final score.
I picked Dolphins. And you know what? Didn't we pick a larger margin and we got screwed last week? And then did we pick closer games and they blow them out? So
yeah,
I'm going to pick a close game and hope that the Dolphins are able to put up some more points this week. So I'll go 24-17.
Oh, I thought we were going to have our first exact match. I'm going 24-30. Dolphins. I don't think much of this defense at all. But I do think that the Saints are going to be able to move the ball on them. I really do. So I don't hate it.
No,
24-30.
And they're one win closer to the playoffs.
And then we're going to have to, there's no avoiding it. The CBS graphics are going to have them firmly in the hunt.
Here's the thing. ESPN's playoff predictor is now out and open for you to go ahead and play with. I love this game. I love predict. My picks always suck, but I love predicting and saying, how can the Dolphins get in the playoffs?
So you'll have an easier time figuring that out than the permutations that are required for the U to make the ACC championship game. Yeah. I was playing that game this weekend. Bold or bull? Oh, let's just go there. The Dolphins are going to be over 8 wins.
Over 8. Well, they went into the season with a 9. Was it 9.5? Was their over under? And you're asking me over 8, which means we're expecting them to win at least. I expect them to win at least the next 2, right? Pretty easy. Easy. After that, though, without knowing if Burrow, and even if Burrow's not there, Joe Flacco might beat you.
They put up numbers.
Even without Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph beat you when he was with Tennessee. He could beat you in Pittsburgh. So it's probably not. I mean, you're running into the right time where you might run into backup quarterbacks. Problem is, the backup quarterbacks are actually decent, and the weapons are there. Now, 8. I think they stall out. I think they get to 8.
Okay, 8. I mean, that's still it's a lot more than we thought at the beginning.
A lot more than we thought 2 weeks ago.
Which would be perfect too. I can just hear the angst in Michael Levy and Tom Bernice's voices when they talk about this. Like, 8's just the perfect where they're not going to make the playoff, but they also kill their draft pick. Like, and also will most likely retain Mike McDaniel. So,
and Tua, it'll be right back here for next year.
Perfect stuff. I like the way we did Boulder Bowl earlier on the show, so I'll do some more of that. Well, here's a good one. Here's a spicy one. Lest we forget what we've seen out of this Dolphins run defense. It is getting better, but for the first time this year, Alvin Kamara will have over 100 yards. Boulder Bowl.
Bull might not even play. So I'm going to go Bull. And also, I think last week, like I mentioned, the numbers that he hasn't had over 100 yards. Closest he got was in the 80s, right? Now, if you're talking total and he was fully healthy, different story, especially on this defense. But I can't imagine he would be able to go over that number. Tyler Shuck.
Ooh.
Over under 11.5 rushing yards, which is the actual number that I'm looking at.
I like it. Over
11.5.
Sounds like we're talking on radios. I like it. Over. Yeah.
Over.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Olave, not Mike Oliva, which I think I said earlier. Chris Olave will have more than one touchdown in this game?
Yes, he'll have 2.
He'll have 2. Okay.
Mhm.
2 of their 24 points will be because of
So
Chris Olave.
overall, okay, let's go fantasy points. We'll do yards and touchdowns. Overall, which wide receiver one is going to outproduce the other? Waddle or Olave?
Waddle.
Okay,
You know
so
why?
we're looking
And
at another,
here's my
another
extra,
95-yard touchdown game here, huh?
here's my extra bold prediction.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I like it.
Waddle takes an end around.
Oh, to the house, his house.
I don't know about to the house. It's going to get at least 10 yards on it. End around for 10
okay.
yards. Something they haven't done much with this. Something they used to do, haven't done a lot with him recently. I got a feeling it's coming.
All right, well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone out there. We hope we're coming to you from another winning week. Hopefully, we got cans of cranberry sauce. We got cans of gravy. Hopefully,
I'm
you'll be
glad
getting
you said
served.
cans of cranberry sauce too. Like the jelly? Is that what you went for for the holiday? You're a jelly kind of guy?
Hopefully,
Or are you an actual cranberries in can person?
there will be some cans of whoop ass getting laid out by the Dolphins. Very generous with that for their Thanksgiving feast this weekend. I hope that's what we're talking to you about next week, right here on DolphinsTalk.com. Dolphins matchup. Let's go, Dolphins fans.